Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. I'm your host, Felty Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today, we are covering Chasing LA. This is season 3, episode 6. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can subscribe if you are new to this channel, and leave your comments below. Let's get into this week's episode. Okay, yep, we are back. They took a week off, and a lot of my other shows is off, so I have a lot more free time to get it done, this review done expeditiously. But anyways, we start off this episode with Pretty Boy and his group that he's in, Pretty Boy and Mark with the Q. They are called On Q. They are at OC Pride, and they start off with one song called Upgrade, and then there's Passport. While doing Passport, or at the end of Passport, we see a Pretty Boy. He's standing up for gay rights and to make America great. Now you want to say, well, no, not make America great again, because we don't need that. He said, make America great, which that entails inclusion and also diversity. So, hey, look, he was standing up there for justice and not just treating this as a gig. And I could really appreciate someone like that, or someone whom could be an advocate while coming to Pride and not just being artist. You're showing your whole self, and all I can do is applaud you for that, sir. So thank you for that. The next song was Ushi Gucci. Am I saying it right? Ushi Gucci? It's a Gushy. That's what it is. Uchi Gucci. I'm getting tongue-tied. Uchi, see, I'm saying Ushi. That's my problem. Uchi Gucci. Uchi Gushy. Oh my God. Oh, yeah, Gushy. That was a cute song. And their last song is called Late Nights. And then what they have is L period, A period, T-E Nights. Obviously, it has something to do with LA. And I like the song. I just got to listen to it. I want to see the words so I know what all they're saying. Pretty Boy, Passport is my favorite off of your set list tonight. So good job, you and Mark. So they sat down after their performance, and they talked about some of the barriers they had just to prepare for this performance. They didn't get the time slot until 1 a.m. in the morning, right before they were supposed to be on that stage later on that day. I think there was some other things that was happening. Then it got a little bit more personal. As even them come together, they really appreciate one another. Mark, he was saying that, I've been around people who have been clipping his wings, but it's good to just be with someone that it looks like we really want to feed each other and push each other. And I think that that's great, and pour into one another and do something very positive and epic. And there's nothing to really hate off of that. So I'm glad that you found your people or your person, Mark, to at least help you at this next stage in your life. So good job to you both. Now, group trip. Trey, he's hosting a wine tasting. They're going to be going to a winery in Santa Clarita. The only person that did not come was Rom. The theme is preppy chic. So if y'all ain't looking like Carlton Banks, what are you doing on this bus? Or actually, what is it called? The vans that everyone using now. But anyways, so everyone gets on the bus. And there's some light shade going on because now some people are picking at some of the outfits that are being presented to us. Of course, some are ragging on, okay, is this really preppy chic? King made a comment about someone wearing hoochie daddy shorts. And it was like, well, I heard Fly King said, well, what's wrong with being with the hoochie daddy shorts? I mean, for this event, I can understand that. But who had on hoochie daddy shorts? I don't know. Maybe y'all can point it out and leave it in the comments. But anyways, Lord, there was a lot of bantering between Twigga, shout out to King, and King Payne. Oh my gosh. There's leftover residue from game night. So people are kind of, some are in their feelings or just things that have been left unresolved. So we're getting a lot of banter between those two. I know it's only been a week, but I can't remember why those two fell out. But anyways, King Payne tries to call Rom, but his line is disconnected. They already said, "Oh, you ain't got no backup tonight." Lord, was that foreshadowing? I mean, the only person that really stuck up for him was Andre in the end. Now, Hershey did stand beside him, but didn't really speak up for him later on in the episode. But we'll get there. But it's off the hook. Da 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 da. I think Trey did say a particular label as far as these friends. Basically, not real friends. All right, so they play a game in the Sprinter, more to break the ice, and they imitate each other. I thought it was pretty cool. I was laughing at a lot of them because, oh yeah, y'all got them on point. Then next, everyone's gonna play their music. Of course, we hear Bon Appetit. We hear King Payne, Just Do It. Folks weren't feeling Just Do It. I like your voice. I like your sound, King Payne. I got to hear a little bit more from you, from just that. I don't know if you have any other songs out there, but I'm going to search you out. Fly King says, people weren't featuring the song and all that. And Fly King feels like King is just getting back what he has put out there. We're going to talk about that. Passport, of course. Even King would have to bop. Yeah, but that's my song choice. You have others that I actually like. I can't remember from the beginning, but I have been getting into your catalog, Pretty Boy. It's pretty dope. You are a great songwriter, a lyricist. Yes, you are. Yeah. King, who was trying to be a little standoffish, had to start bouncing his shoulders. It's a bop. It's a bop. It's a bop. Darion. He plays this song called Karma. Well, no, his name, Karma Culture, or Couture. Darion said that he used to be drag, and that was his drag name. But he had a song called Fish, and it's about being pretty and being comfortable in your own skin. And then, of course, we hear him, the remix, and then we was cool for a minute. Then Trey pulls out his vape. And that started a war. Now, I haven't really been around a lot of people that vape. I don't know what goes on into the atmosphere. And I'm just going to go by what people are saying right now. King had a problem with it. And he's trying to figure out why is Trey vaping right in the proximity of everyone. I don't know what vape does to anyone. If it's around, is it secondhand smoke or secondhand vape? I don't know. But he had a problem with that. They went someplace, I think it was just a little break or whatever. They got off. And then there was some more fireworks that happened because I guess it already gotten back to Trey and how King was displeased of having that vape being blown right there in the Sprinter van. No, it's not a cigarette. I know that much. Or even a blunt. But anyway, somebody said, because I did look at the comments. Somebody said, King, that you be blowing blunts around people. So, I don't know. I didn't see you. But maybe someone else saw it. And y'all can just leave me a comment about that, too. Tell me about it. But anyways. Trey's annoyed that King is annoyed. And he's like, it's America. I could vape if I want to. And the vape, I'm a cuss. Because it's past the mark. Vape isn't fucking up your lungs. Blame it on your carbohydrates. That's right. King Payne, I think says in his confessional, maybe to him or whatever. I think this was in his confessional. Saying, look, it's one thing for you to be doing it alone in your presence or with other vapors. You should be doing that in the car. But why are you doing that around us? Like, to be honest, even if the vape doesn't really go around, did you really ask Trey? I know that this is your trip, but did you ask anyone? Did you mind? Or do they mind if you smoke? I mean, fair is fair. However, King Payne was not on that and don't like that. So they're going back and forth yet again. Now, King calls Trey Scary Potter. I said, oh. Now, Trey, when I look at your outfit, what I thought about, this is my random thinking, having its thoughts. Beverly Hills Troop. Beverly Hills Troop was back in the 80s. It was a comedy. It had Shelley Long from Cheers, but she was the camp leader or whatever, and they had those Girl Scout type of outfits on, and they had that tan that you have going on. So that's what I really thought of when I first saw you. Still got love for you, but I had to bring that out. And then Trey gonna call King Whoopi Goldberg. All I gotta say is King and Trey are so hilarious to me. Anyways, let me move on. And King at this point saying, "Oh, I look like Whoopi Goldberg." Then they start having a face battle. At this point, it's breaking the fourth wall. King looks into the camera. He takes off his glasses. First, King, thank you for taking off your glasses. You haven't since I started watching this season. This is the first time I get to see your eyes. Thank you for that. I really wanted to see what was behind those glasses. But anyway. King wanted to battle out. Let's go face to face. King says, natural. Makeup. King walks off. And then Trey says, fit. Back. I'm done with y'all. I'm done with y'all. Anyway. At this point, it's looking like King is an outsider. Or at least treated that way. And it's in direct retaliation to how King has been treating a lot of people on the show. Now, this is my personal opinion from what I've been watching, King. It does feel like you're very critical of everyone. The only person that I remember seeing is that you have some positive things to say about David, but I don't really see you you always walk into the room with your nose in the air. Kind of that, you got that type of stank. But I don't think that's your heart for real. I mean, you even show up to help feed the homeless or the unhoused, So I don't think that that's in you in that way. And then even hearing regarding that you were a foster parent, or you're still a foster parent, but I don't think right now you have any children that you're taking care of. I know that can't be your heart. And maybe you're doing this on the show, and that's not your real life in regards to that, but then it could come off very haterish. And not even giving people a chance. So it's just like you've written them off before you even had a chance to even have a conversation. Some of them you haven't. So yeah, that's my opinion. But y'all can give y'all opinions. Let's see. So most of the group is on the inside. I think King is ready to go. Ready to go. Word gets back to them. Trey comes outside to try to smooth things over. But things are still kind of foggy within that area as far as smoothing over. Is this when? Oh, he ended up hearing that Trey said that he can dish it but can't take it. What's all that about? At this moment, it's feeling that way. King, I don't know you. I don't know how you really move too much. So I think I do need to watch seasons in the past, and maybe I wouldn't be all the way, that I wouldn't be as much on their side as possibly you, if possibly I know how you actually roll. In his confessional, King says, look, we're good, meaning him and Trey. I'm paraphrasing. And basically, he's come to the conclusion that he don't F with Trey. It is what it is. Oof. So they finally made it to the winery. They get inside and all of that. And guess who called? David. Andre wanted to take this time or this opportunity to talk to David because David has been dodging and not been available to speak to Andre. And that's been since he has been put on pause with the show. David does admit that he was mad at everyone because Andre was like, "You're mad at me? Why would you be mad at me?" Da, 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 da. And he said he was just mad at the whole situation. Mad. He was just mad that this even came down. So Andre just really wanted to buckle down to say, like, what's up in regards to that, because he did leave. So they have a little talk. Of course, it's getting right back to Trey. Trey feeling some type of way. Why are y'all talking to this person that threatened everyone? And then why are you doing it on my trip out of all other times that you could have done that? Why me? And Trey feels, and I would agree in that type of scenario, that he's public enemy number one. This person threatened our lives. And he knows that if anything goes down, he's coming after him. I heavily got to rock with Trey and how he feels in that situation. I don't think that, look, I don't think King really cared. I don't think that he was even conscious to, oh, let me go outside. I'm answering right now. You're going to be on camera. So, I think that it would have been wise, even if you want to speak to him, go on outside. That would have been the wisest thing to do, Andre and King. I will say this. It's interesting how Chasing Reality got more sense than Bravo. Chasing Reality did their investigation. And they saw it fit that David not be back on the show. But Kenya Moore was basically looked past. And they treated it as a non-threat when she was threatened with GUNs. I think that is so crazy. The high and mighty Bravo, who didn't take Brit serious. Why? I don't know, because y'all don't even know her. Whatever. Justice, a team twirl. Justice for Kenya Moore. Anyways. Okay, so now they are back outside and they're going to be sitting at the table. Barbecue has been catered. And Trey does thank Andre because Andre has done a lot of the groundwork and he appreciates it. And at this point, Trey says, hey, look, we are all at the table here and it's time for us to hash it out. Andre steps forward for King Payne. Yeah, that's what it was. He's saying that he thinks that King Payne is being treated unfairly. King is like, I'm unbothered. Andre said, I have known you for a very long time. He's bothered. He didn't say bothered, but I'm saying bothered. He's bothered. Since King don't really want to talk, he's just like, I'm cool. Over here in his corner, in his own little chair. In my own little corner. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Shout out to Brandon. Anyways, he's acting unbothered, da, 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 da. Pretty Boy said, okay, let me chime in on what we need to talk about. Like, I know that we've had a little rough, and that's based upon a misconception, thinking that I was talking shit about you. That wasn't the case, and all of that. And I don't want this to keep lingering on. And we can have a conversation if you want. King still opts out. Why? I don't know. Well, I think I do know, but at the same point, it's just like, okay. Pretty Boy tried to rectify the situation. He's acting unbothered yet again. King does kind of pipe up and say, you know what? Let's go. You know, a birdie told me that you guys feel like I've been picking on them. And of course, nobody's really stepping up to the plate. And then Trey said, look, I'll gladly volunteer on this one. I will say that you do play the victim card. And you're sitting around here like a lump on the log, even though you're acting unbothered. I'm paraphrasing. King feels like, you know, I'm not pressed like y'all think I am. And it looks like some of y'all want a moment. And he hasn't been doing that for them, I guess. Then Trey switches the conversation a little bit to talk about how he feels about them accepting a call from David. And he says, on my day and my trip, right in front of my face, this person desires to SHOOT me. Of course, he did make those threats to the whole group. But as I said before, he's like public enemy number one. Andre explains himself as to why he even took the phone call, at least around you, and apologizes. King says, as Trey is really going off at this point, like it's not even because what Trey said, I'm not upset with you, Andre. I do feel like King is trying to make a moment, and that's why he made sure that he answered that phone at that point. King says it's not about you. It ends up walking away, and Hershey goes after him. You can feel the emotion and intensity in Trey as he's trying to say, hey, this wasn't cool. Y'all shouldn't have been talking with him at all. And that's just that on that. Let's see. So anyways, things started calming back down. Johnny was, King sat at the table. Now the next game is who is best dressed. I think Andre was picked upon first. And he ended up, before he gave his announcement as to whom he thinks has been rocking the pretty chic outfits. He points out that Loso and Dream, they don't have on the outfits. Instantly, another war then started. Mr. Businessman, Mr. Professional has struck again. And he's going off. Now, I see Dream. I don't know if he's doing the back and forth, but he's at least trying to have I lost my train of thought. Oh, Dream. Yeah, it seems like he does have things to say, but I don't know. They always keep him in the background, though. I wonder what that's all about. But Dream did have some things to say about that, but I can't remember what he said. But anyways, so Loso's going off, and Andre's coming back. They start having insults and reads towards each other. Crazy. Crazy. Things got more personal, and the insults were coming in as far as who's more successful, typical reality shows. Andre really had to say, put some respect on my name. You came to sit at my table. Now, I do want to know from the audience, do you mind that Andre does talk his ish, even with this whole show situation? Does it feel like he's trying to hold anything against anyone? Like, you got to come bow down to me type of situation? How y'all feel about that? Y'all let me know. Andre says that you're at the bottom of my list. Loso says that you're at the bottom of my nut sack. Hopefully I can say that on here. But anyways, I think he said balls. I wrote down balls. Let's see. Andre did pick Fly King and all that. I forgot about that. And then Andre said, you're pressed. Panini pressed. You've been really trying to come at me for whatever reason. But you're definitely pressed. When everyone at this point is calming down, Pretty Boy asks the most logical question out there. Why are you upset over clothes? And that is the best question that you could have asked. Like, I wasn't getting it. I don't even understand why you wanted to start a World War III. Loso, the Martin Luther King of the group. I just don't get it whatsoever. Loso said the reason that he even started going off is because he feels like if Andre had just stuck with the question instead of answering the way that he wanted to answer, none of us would be in this predicament right now. Do I get what he's saying? Like, why was I added to it? I didn't call it stray. But you weren't in the attire that was asked of you, Loso. And now I can talk about this. When I saw the first picture of you guys there, I was like, at least with Loso, you seem to always dress the same. And that's cool if that's your brand and all that, good. I was like, when I looked at you, I was like, he's in that same leather get up. Now, I think that you may have been able to rock a little chic, even with the leather coat. But I think you would have needed to talk to some more people about that. Let's see. Loso done broke a glass. Like he ended up flicking glass and it broke while in argument with Andre. I said, oh my Lord. And it looked like he was gone. But anyways, at some point, Andre and Loso needed to talk. And here is something I got an issue with. Andre doesn't understand why is on his neck. Loso ended up saying that he was triggered by whatever the college moment. I don't know what he said, but anyways, I take his word for it. Loso, I don't discredit where you come from. I don't discredit you having triggers. It can come off very manipulative when you get caught up like this. I'm like, I instantly got upset. Because I'm like, what are you talking about? Now you're triggered, all from college stuff. You know, I might have been able to. I don't want you to get the wrong idea that I hate you, but I do have to say this. It's weird that you're so concerned about college, you're not really getting in there. But then at your event, you acted a monkey there. Like at the moment when you were supposed to talk your shit in the place that was denying you employment, and now you're running your own thing, and you would have been able to do that. Well, and you chose to be as petty as you wanted to be, sir, and things aren't adding up. And I do feel like you preached at David, and you're following right in his footsteps as far as what you said, what he shouldn't be doing, and what he should be doing as far as the whole professional person. And I'm just looking at you. I'm looking at you weird. I can't pussyfoot around about that because you're coming off very weird in that regard. I'm sorry, and it's very hypocritical. And I don't at all vindicate or try to vindicate David, but it's just the stuff that you were telling David you're doing, and I don't like it. I don't know if I'm not saying that you can't be rah-rah Loso, but I'm trying to understand why in every episode you go rah-rah. That's annoying. That's annoying to the viewer. And I know you're new. I guess this is your first reality show. I guess. But it's just like, what's going on? I feel like there is an insecurity in you that's past even the whole college thing, as you said. It felt like an excuse, in my opinion. But it's just, I think you're used to running the show. And the thought of having to bow down to Andre, you can't do. And I won't even say bow down. I'll say submit to Andre. Because you have no logical reason to actually dislike him whatsoever. Then your excuse was you were on guard and ready for Andre to attack at any moment. Meaning this, since Trey and King were going at it, then he just assumed if anything was dangerous that was going on, that Andre was just really saying all that just to get a lick back in the name of Trey. That's the messed up stuff, and I felt like that was manipulation. However, you did apologize. And I believe that you took accountability for all of that. And that's what I can respect. But I do have an eye on you, Loso, at this moment. Because it's just like, you're giving two different people. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's see. So they're back being cool. All right, so we're done with the winery. And we're with Andre and Javante. Javante is a featured model for Shop Her. Him? What? Well, I say her. Him. Shop Him. They're doing a photo shoot so there could be so that they can content create. Andre asked, where have you been? All that, because you haven't come around for a very long time. Javante says that, when that whole sex ad situation came up, and also about Andre dating one of his family members, that made him want to withdraw back. Javante, come here. I feel a way about that. And I say all this with love. Do you say anything else before I go on? I just got to tell you, never mind. Grow the fuck up. I say this with love. I have no problems with you. I understand this is your rookie year. I don't know if you've done reality TV before. All I can tell you is that there's always going to be opportunity for someone to just spring stuff on you. And you just got to be ready and roll with the punches. I know you think that Andre should have gave you a heads up. Since you on a reality show, respond. And back these bitches up from you. You said that you didn't do this. I don't understand why you're so offended by it. If you didn't do this, all you had to say is no, and what else is going on? But no, you've shown yourself twice now. Of course, when it first happened and you needed to step aside, da 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 da. And even now, at this point. I need you to grow the fuck up. You need to grow up. You need to grow up. I don't want you off the show or anything. This is not out of malice. You got to grow up, sir. And just roll with the punches. And that could come with time. But to put the onus on Andre should have told you. Andre ended up apologizing about it. He said, like, I can see how that is, and I apologize to you for not actually coming to you first to give you a heads up. I wouldn't apologize as far as on the reality TV level. Then they talk about Andre dating one of the family members. Andre apologizes because of the stubbornness that he does possess. Oh, family member. Okay. He said, like, you could have told me we are too good for all of this, da 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 da. He says that I'm not looking for approval, just respect. That was all that is. Of course, Andre did understand all of that, and they ended up just making up from that point. Fly King. Fly King and his sister, they go out to his grandmother's gravesite, the one that treats him horribly, or treated him horribly. This is also his first time seeing the headstone of his grandmother. Fly King talks about her funeral, her homegoing service, whichever one you prefer. The mayor showed up, the fire department, and guess what? The police department too. I think that, what is her name? Miss Vera Elizabeth Farrington. I think that that's awesome. And to get all of that appreciation, that's great. Fly King is kind of conflicted with his grandmother. 2 weeks prior to her passing away, she gave a call out. Of course, we know that there was a fortune that came out of her passing. Everyone got some dividends in this whole situation, but Fly Kings, because they did have a falling out. 2 weeks prior to her her passing away, Fly King says that she called him and said, "Let's go have lunch." The sister says that on the day that she was transitioning, she, what did she say? She said, "I messed up," and she was saying that over and over and over and over and over again. Fly King says, love is an action word. We just find out how grandma was manipulative. I'm going to be sensitive and respect you, Fly King. I don't want that type of smoke, and that's just not where I'm going to. But he ended up saying, people would say at how honorable, how giving and warm his grandmother was. But he also knows her ways. And you get church mother or church auntie. But when she gets on and in front of us, yeah. And I think if they would have confronted her about the being cut out the will, as far as him being cut out the will, she would have been like, there had to be a mistake. There's no way that you're out of the will, knowing that you did take him up out of the will. Crazy. The sister asked, if you could have something to tell grandma, what would you tell her? Basically, he says, because he is a accountability king, says, you know, he loves you, or he loves his grandmother, but you also made it hard. There's no denying on what you did to the community. At home, there were some things lacking. But anyways, God rest Miss Vera Elizabeth Farrington. That's all I had to say, y'all. Thank you for coming back, y'all. It was pretty full and packed tonight as far as the content in this episode. So y'all gave us something, even from the break and all of that. So cool. Kudos to everyone. Yeah. So I do think that Loso and Javante need to grow the fuck up. And I say this with love. And that's just that on that. Yeah. King, I just think possibly hopefully you're watching the season and seeing how you are. I really don't think that that is the person that you are, but I think at least you're portraying that on TV as far as being standoffish to people that you don't know. But y'all can give me your comments below. Let me know how you felt about this episode. I appreciate you for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also subscribe if you have not, and again, leave comments below. And until next week, peace.